So now, having seen the roof, we'll start at the back just because we happen to be here. Coastline, probably in need of replacement. They do that over time, unfortunately. It's rusted out. Subfloor, there is a lot of evidence of borer in there, so it is a case of treat, and there is some parts that just need to be replaced. Most of those are stitch in time, single boards here and there, but yeah, there is a fair few of them in saying that. Now, where you've got paint starting to peel off like this, it's not actually mission critical because it's below the floor line of the house, but basically you're at the place where you go, it's probably worthwhile giving the house another seriously good wash and at least touching up paint in areas like this where it's starting to fail and peel off. But in general, it's not too bad. A colour match on this will be a little bit tricky, but not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. Heat pump's good. You've got some new wiring, there's a new earth spike just down there, for example. Gas is just for a heater. They have a heater in there which is unflued, and I'm not a big fan of unflued heaters. As I mentioned on the longer video, you'll see you've got a little bit of wear on your feet, but they are pretty well protected, so there's no hurry. But again, bear in mind, lead-based paint. This area back here has been changed a bit over the years. Obviously back porch used to go through there and not here, and who knows what exactly. But yeah, at the moment it's still functional, it's usable. Fencing, you've definitely got wobbly fencing. You might want to get one or two new posts put in. Might not be a silly idea. So as we carry on around here, I mean, paths are actually in pretty good order. Your access isn't half bad. It's better than I expected it would be when I first looked. This pipe here, just to save it being broken or snapped, I would try and pin that back against the wall using more raw plugs. This here is your water supply, which is still actually live, and it's galvanized iron. So some insurance companies require that to be replaced, but realistically you only replace it if you need to. It's not going to leak, it's just it does reduce flow over time. So again, on the below the floor line, having plaster falling off like that isn't the end of the world. It's pretty easy-ish to fix, just takes a bit of time and someone that knows what they're doing. There's no pressure to do it because it can't cause any harm. So we come up here. I haven't been able to find a key for the garage, but let's see if they left it unlocked. No. They did. Now this is quite interesting. Whether they left that there as old coal bunker access or what, I'm not 100% sure. But you can certainly, you've got your paint, so that means you've got your colours, that makes it nice and easy. The roller door is actually relatively new compared with the rest. This window, they've certainly replaced the glass too. But yeah, we can also see that there's a new internal gutter and that they have most likely replaced the roofing at least once because nobody ever used to use building paper when this was built. Fairly good fall away from the road, and you're not going to have any humps which leave nasty dents in the roof of your car unless you've got a really tall car. Internal drain, no signs of leaking, so that's all pretty good, and there is a scupper overflow, so remarkably dry and no water runs in there. So continue around. Pretty happy with most of this. Most of the windows need a bit of a paint touch up. They are all lead based paint, so just be aware of that. Mostly where the floorboards here are pretty sweet. There's a notable few that you want to deal with. So while we're at the hallway, just talk about smoke alarm. I would install a photo optic long life smoke alarm in the hallway. They do have them in most of the bedrooms, not this one, but you really want the earliest warning, not the latest. And if you want to use the current gas heater, which is stored in the laundry, then you really want to have a carbon monoxide sensing smoke alarm system as well, because it's unducted, unvented. Personally, I wouldn't use it. I got rid of all our gas appliances for inside. Still have barbecues, but yeah, gas heaters are a no-no in my books now. Into front bedroom. Ceiling and everything in here is hunky-dory, pretty good. As I said, windows, again, just a bit of wear. They were probably originally just bare timber. You could restore them to that and re-polyurethane them if you wish, but I suspect that'd be an awful lot of work. So personally, I'd give them a light sand, bearing in mind again lead-based paint, and fill where you need to, and then repaint over top. Bathroom is a curious one. You do have a couple of floorboards in here you need to replace. You'd almost consider doing the whole lot, to be honest, and then matching it up, or yeah. Even if you do put something over the top, you really want to replace these, just because they're right where they are. It's in the wrong place for standing. Obviously, no shower curtain. I would personally install a glass splash screen down here, and I mentioned Ajax will take the stains off the tub. Ajax or any cream cleaner, really. Into this bedroom, ceiling access is all good. This is quirky. All of the windows on this side of the house, on the exterior of the frames, need a bit of effort. They've replaced one little bit of floorboard down here that probably did fail. The downside is they didn't pack it to the right height, so now it's notably lower than the rest. Two things to do with that. One is you can pop it back out again and put some packers underneath just to bring it up to level. And the second thing to do is to polish it, sand it, sand it, but cover it in polyurethane. As you can see, they have done other patches as well. Some here. But yeah, a lot of this board will be surface, but if you feel significant deflection under your feet, it's time to say replace, replace, replace. It's pretty hard without walking every square millimetre of the floor. Flooring in the laundry, that's no good. It's been replaced with particle board, and the particle board has swollen and is in the process of failing big time down there. So some replacement in here will be necessary. It's not particularly arduous, but it will take some effort. Your gas pitots on the floor are still live. They're plumbed up to the gas bottles. If you don't want the gas bottles, you can actually just remove them and remove these ports, and you're fine and dandy. If you're really keen, get a gas fitter to do it, a registered gas fitter. Windows in general, same thing applies right throughout the house. Most of the windows are in pretty good order, but are due just a touch of paint. Your French doors, pretty happy with. Your beams up here, the installation method's good, but what they're installed onto isn't really strong enough to take the weight. So I have recommended from putting a strong back through up and above and pulling the beams back up onto that with cleats. That's just to protect these things from falling down onto your head, which obviously would be fairly problematic. They are decorative and they're very pretty, and I'd keep them, but make sure that what's up there is strong enough to hold them. And at the moment they're only held by these through bolts running through standard ceiling joists, which are about 4x2, 3x2. So worth doing some effort with.